What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to the video, folks. We have two brand new weapons that dropped, one that's a dud and the other one that actually does work, and we're going to talk a little bit about them right now and give you guys the full scope of what is happening. Now, before I do this, I want to remind everybody, of course, content creator program is going on. Hit that support button, get yourself in. It's absolutely free, and get yourself some free codes. 3 active codes, a 4th one on the way. So make sure you sign up, get yourself in, and get yourself some free codes. Now, while we're doing this, I'm going to walk you guys through what we did for our testing, okay? It's going to be a lot of numbers, and I'm going to show you guys some numbers. But the most important thing to note is one of the weapons is bugged, and we cannot give you the full scope of the weapon. And the weapon in question right now, and I did it on my pay-to-win account, just so you're aware, we went from A0 to A1, A3, A5. Inoue's Roar is not working. The only thing that works in this entire section, there's a couple things that do work. Number one, increases damage taken by 10%. That's actually you. We tested this. You take more damage by 10%. So it's kind of like a little backfire, right? It's called Burning Grudge for a reason. He's giving you herpes, essentially. And with those herpes, you take 10% more damage. But with that, you do provide 5% more herpes damage to the boss, 5% more fire damage to the boss, and then increases pitch black damage by 50%. Pitch black is the special move, by the way. Now, what doesn't work is a couple of these things here. Number 2, also the 10% extra damage through burn doesn't work. We tested that. None of that works. Unfortunately, the burn, even applied, does not add 10% more damage to whoever it is that has the burn, unfortunately. So this is currently bugged. Nothing here actually worked except for the meteorite. The meteorite did get in there. And it did actually do the damage. So the first one did 500k, and then as we got to A5, it did more damage. So the meteorite does work, but the actual effect here, the Burning Grudge effect, we stripped all the way down to butt naked, and we tried it with no artifacts, no extras, nothing, just to see if it actually did, and it didn't actually work. So unfortunately, we cannot give you a full scope of Inoue's Roar because it currently is a bugged weapon. So more to come on this, guys. And Netmarble, I know we have to submit as content creators a video for this. It's bugged, all right? And if you guys want to watch it, you guys can watch the live stream and check it out, but nothing unfortunately works on there. So what I'm going to do is let me go back a couple seconds here, and I'll kind of rewind some of the numbers here that we did, and you guys can kind of check it out. So here's me on the live stream. Hi guys. So we did some summoning, of course, first. We got the weapon, etc., and then we went in and we did some testing, right? So the problem is when we did the testing with the weapons, we realized that even when the burn was applied and all this stuff, nothing was working. I'll give you guys a couple examples real quick after this here. The animation looks great, but we kept noticing the numbers never going up. Burn, without burn, it didn't matter. The numbers were not going up. So you guys can see here, we put all of these numbers together, and I'll just share these numbers with you now so you guys can see it and not waste your time. But you guys can see here, Inoue's Roar, not road. A0, no burn damage, we did 6.9 million. With burn damage, we did 6.9 million. That 10 extra percent was never applied. Neither was any of the extra buffs. That's at A0. We said A0 was bugged. We tried A1. We had 2 fire weapons. We did 9.0 weapon damage, 500k meteor. We know that part works. So defense pen did apply. So that part does work. Defense pen did apply. The 500k damage also did apply. Everything else, unfortunately, did not work. So A3, same thing. Everything applied. Again, everything was bugged. A5, everything was bugged. So the only thing that actually worked was the meteorite, the defense pen, and the fact that we took more damage. Everything else was unfortunately not working. Okay? And just so everyone is aware, it doesn't give you as much defense pen as Night Killer. So until this is ready to rock and roll, we will have no actual data for you. Okay? All bugged. Netmarble, please fix this. You're going to watch this. You have no choice. It's a mission of ours. So just please make sure that's done. All right. Number two, second weapon, the spear. Now this weapon actually does work. So we did a lot of work on this one. The spear, on the other hand, actually does a really good job. We did a couple different tests. Number one, what breaks faster? The spear or the fan? Okay, so we're going to share this little bit of information with you guys here. You guys can see. So this was us using the spear. You guys can see the weak spear breaking capabilities. It's not very good. Now, when you get to 30 stacks, so you guys can see down here, I'm doing basic attacks, and that's cool because it does. The basic attacks does take you to 30. You'll have this little extra effect that comes down. It's other spears when you do any form of fire attack. Right there, you guys saw that. But you guys can see how long it takes to break. All right, now we did a quick comparison here for this, which took about, I don't know, 30 seconds, to the fan. Look at the fan. Boom, boom, boom. Done. So when it comes down to capabilities of breaking, it's a good pecker. That's right, I just said that. It's past 10 o'clock, guys. I'm allowed to say things like this, okay? It's a good pecking weapon to take break damage, but the fan is much better for breaking, okay? Now, when it comes down to buffs, we walked through this. You heard what I said, Scary K. Someone's asking me right now in the video. Here's what we did, okay? So A0 weapon, 811 K to 813K decimation. We use decimation with no morale, okay? So with 10 morale, it went to 851. 20 morale, it went to 895. 30 morale, it went to 932. So we know morale, in fact, does work. So the increase in damage, critical damage, all that stuff was all bonus. That worked. Fire damage applied, everything worked. So A0 was good. A1 also worked. All skills that are fire and basic fire weapon attacks increases morale. So you can get morale very quick just doing basic attacks. You don't actually have to do any form of fire skills. As long as the weapon is a fire weapon, you do any type of stuff right there, you'll be able to perform and get yourself 30 stacks very quickly. It does, again, at 30 stacks, start applying a small break ability for you. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, A3. Equal stacks of crit damage works, yes. So if you can do a burn at A3, at 30 stacks, you'll start applying something called, I forgot what the name is. It's a support of some sort, and you can get yourself 5 stacks of crit damage. That does, in fact, work, and we show you guys here. Crit damage with decimation without the stacks was 4.715 million. With the 5 stacks, it was 5.65 million. So it does, in fact, work. A3 is great. Highly recommend push it to A3 if you can. At A5, the crit damage went even more, obviously. Weapon does work. So then what we did next is, hey, what works really well with the spear? Obviously, we can't test, Inoue's nutsack. So we had to test the spear with the fan and spear with KK, which is the Night Killer. So I'm going to give you guys the final numbers down here. All right. Spear plus fan with no buffs on decimation did 5.35 million raw damage. Raw damage, no crit. With crit damage, it did 20.1. All right. Now, if you apply buffs, fan and morale at 30 plus the crit damage buff at 5, you did 34.5 million. So fan and spear, very good combination. Now, if you take KK and spear with no decimation buff, you get 4.78 million raw damage, so a little less in the raw damage, but in the crit damage department, for some reason, it did more. Now, this could be just simply RNG, guys. I think they're going to be very similar in regards to how they perform. So if you don't care about the fan and if you don't care about having the fan and you have the spear and KK, you might be able to perform as well as the spear and the fan. Okay, so let's just consider them pretty much the same on crit damage. On raw damage, there's a little bit of a variance between spear and fan and KK and spear. Pretty straightforward, right? All right, now the last thing, fan plus KK. We did 20.3 million crit damage, which is very similar to what spear and fan did, but the actual crit damage with no buffs, without the morale buffs and the 5 crit damage, we did about roughly 6 million less. So definitely overall, guys, the two best combinations are either spear and fan and Night Killer and spear. So do you need to pull on the spear? Answer is technically no. If you want to min max, it'll do better overall, I think, with either the KK or with the fan. If you decide you want to skip it, that's also okay. You won't do as much damage overall compared to some of the bigger people out there who are doing damage, but you can still survive without it. And unfortunately, without Inoue's Roar, we have no idea how this thing functions at full abilities, because I believe they're supposed to work together. All right, so just so you're aware, that's how that goes. Obviously, guys, leave a like, subscribe, put comments down below, and let me know what you guys think, if you're summoning or not, and if you did summon, how much weapons did you get through how many summons? All right, guys, have a wonderful night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.